What'd you do after the game last night?
We had a little adult beverages in the suite
Nice.
and kind of hung out with Boys Club.
Well, who's in the club?
Well, let's see. John Cusack. It was a Cubs groupies convention. Bill Murray, John Cusack, Eddie Vedder, Chris Chelios,
Ooh.
and then Sean Casey with the MLB Network, the loud guy who played 15 years in the show, and I think he ended up with 100 home runs.
We love the mayor. Who was MVP? Who was closer last night?
You know what? I did the Irish goodbye with Mark DeRosa because you can't say goodbye because what you'll get is like, come on, bro, you're not going. Come on, bro. So you just kind of just sneak out. So me and DeRosa were the early exiters, but I'll tell you right now, they are ready for Game 7.
How knowledgeable is Eddie Vedder?
You know, they're fans. They love the game.
Yeah.
And I think he's been around Theo enough he understands what's going on a lot more than you'd think. But I'll tell you one thing right now, Danny. He's the most sincere, normal human being for the level that he's at.
And then Bill Murray walks in.
And then Bill Murray. Bill Murray was hilarious. He was 4 rows behind us in the stands and absolutely heckling Mark DeRosa because he played for the Indians for 3 months. And DeRosa played for the Cubs. So it was constant just screaming at him, down in front, where's your 2 jackets? You know, and DeRosa it was hilarious. He's like, Bill Murray hates me.
Let me get to the game itself. Game 6, the Cubs have the big lead, and so 7th inning, Chapman comes in. Now, at the time, John Smoltz didn't agree with that move by Joe Madden. What did you think?
Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't like it either. The only reason why is because you understand you have a 6-run lead or a 5-run lead or whatever it was at that exact moment. And you're trying to save bullets because Game 7, I think anything goes. And so I understand he only threw 20 pitches. But at the time, you're like, it was just a tick early and maybe a tick unnecessary. But then you look at it from the other side, from Joe Madden's side, is that we have to win tonight. If we don't win tonight, and, you know, a base runner here and a base runner there, and then you got a 3-run bomb, well, there's no tomorrow anyway. So it can go either way, in my opinion. I wouldn't have thrown him.
How's his setup tonight?
Well, you're going to see everybody in there, obviously. You're going to the perfect game for the Cubs. Kyle Hendricks throws. John Lester probably gets an inning, a clean inning. And then you know what? You're going to hand the ball off to Chapman again. The underrated aspect of this is, one, you have Kluber going to beat the Cubs 3 times in 10 days.
Yeah.
Kyle Hendricks, no one even talks about him. He's the best pitcher in the National League all season long. So I think he's going to have a great game. I think Kluber has a chance to win. You know, obviously he has a chance, but I'll tell you right now, he didn't throw great in Game 2, and the Cubs missed a lot of pitches. Game 1, he was lights out. He's now at home. Indians play well at home. It's going to be a heck of a game.
If Kluber wins, Kluber's your MVP.
No doubt about it, hands down. I mean, hands down.
What about if
the Indians would have won last night? I think he's our MVP.
What about the Cubs? Is it still left to be written who'd be the MVP?
Yeah, it's a tough one, right? I mean, Addison Russell steps up and drives in 6.
Mm-hmm.
You know, immediately last night, Baez was the hot commodity in postseason that we all were talking about. Went rocket cold. Chris Bryant, I mean Chapman. Where do you start? And you have John Lester, who's been amazing.
One of these fan bases is going to lose. That's the amazing part, though. When it had to go to a 7th game. It just, but also one of these fan bases does win.
You're right. I think, you know, and I was asked, you know, which fan base has the most pressure. I think right now, obviously, it's the Cubs. Even though it's the fun silly goose, you know, lovable losers. But I still think that 108 years of just they haven't won.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland being 70 plus, the Cubs are just dying for this. So it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be everything you want. We still haven't had that big moment, though. You know, I'm waiting for that big moment. You know, if you're down by 3-run home run, you tie it, you go by 1, the next team goes down by 1. We haven't had that. It's usually the team that leads and gets out with a lead wins.
Baseball couldn't have scripted this any better.
No, I'm going to tell you right now, they really couldn't have. And it would have been really odd if the Indians would have won 3 straight in Chicago and won it in Game 5. But here you are, Game 6. Cubs explode offensively, miscue in the outfield and center field. They score 3 in the first, and next thing you know, they're off and running. Now you have Kluber and Kyle Hendricks, 2 of the best pitchers out there.
Get some rest. Keep on rocking in the free world.
Danny Patrick, always good to talk to you, buddy.
All right, Slugger. We'll talk to you soon.
We'll see you, buddy.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.